Saw you not that long ago.
I know, right?
So before we get to this week's card, we're still all kind of like reliving UFC 253 and Adesanya and kind of trying to understand what happened there. When you looked at that main event, did you take away that Adesanya just had the most amazing night ever, or that Paulo Costa had either a bad night or a bad game plan? What did you take out of that?
From what I saw, he just got his leg kicked to shit. Like, yeah, sorry, can I cuss on this?
Absolutely.
Like, I keep getting in trouble for cussing. Yeah, he had a really good game plan. When I went back and watched, you know how Dana has those little videos of the warm up backstage before the fighter comes out. I watched Costa's warm up, and he has like a really narrow boxing stance, and his foot's kind of turned. His outside foot is turned in like that, and I could see like he like just presented his calf to Adesanya. So I feel like that was one of the, he either picked it up in tape or when they were in the fight, he just picked up on it immediately. Started hitting the calf. After the first two shots, I'm like, oh man, that must hurt. But then I realized it was just cupping marks. But then like the marks started getting more and more, and they started multiplying. So that hurts, man. It really hurts. Like I in my fight with Nina Ansarov, I got calf kicked, and she's not that big. And she only landed maybe three or four before I started checking them. But after the second round, my entire foot was numb. Like I couldn't really feel if my foot was going forward or not. And when you're that size and you have someone hit it, he must have hit it like 10 times in the first round at least. When you're that size and you have somebody hitting you with that police baton shin over and over again, it just deadens the entire leg. And I think one thing Adesanya said in his fighter meeting was that he can't respect Costa's poker face, and I think a lot of the fans were respecting Costa's poker face and wondering why he wasn't going forward when in fact he was hurt and just hiding it really well. So I think that's what happened. I think the leg kicks took away his mobility, but also opened up the head kick that he landed, also opened up just Adesanya being able to move in and out more freely because Costa couldn't chase him down as easily with that dead leg, and yeah, he just ended up doing that lean back punch and knocked him out.
Yeah. So the name that was brought up a lot after the card was John Jones, right? Both maybe with Adesanya, maybe coming back to get his belt from Jan Blachowicz, you said, or we still got this heavyweight option out there. So I guess you as a fight fan and an analyst as well, I mean, what's the most intriguing matchup out of all of those? Like, where do you think is the most exciting to see John Jones do next?
Man, I just wanted to make a choice, like figure which one do you want to do? I would love to see Jones at heavyweight. I feel like he started looking a little flat in his last two light heavyweight fights. And it just seems like maybe he wants to be big. Maybe he wants to have that weight on him. Maybe he doesn't feel like cutting. I'm not sure how bad his weight cut is, but you're always gonna have more energy if you have more lean muscle on you. If he was bouncing around all flabby and stuff, then maybe you would want to cut weight and have that like athleticism at light heavy. But it seems like he's gotten a little older. He has more old man muscle on him. I mean, I'm older than him, but you know, you know what I mean. Yep. I always call my muscle old lady muscle too. So I would love to see him at heavyweight, and I would love to see him, do that instead of like kind of going back and forth.
I get it. So we'll talk about this week's card. Holly Holm, Marina Aldana, big main event. Obviously, big stakes there. I mean, it's going to have title implications. But when you break it down, like, what do you think is going to dictate what happens here? I mean, obviously, both very high-level strikers. How does this thing play out? What's going to determine who wins this fight?
I think it depends on how well Aldana is able to handle Holm's pressure. I think judging from Holly's fight with Megan Anderson, she's probably going to try to pressure up against the fence and take her down. And I think that's probably the best bet for her, just because she isn't really a power puncher. She likes to land points and move a lot. And Aldana proved to be pretty good against that type of striker. So I feel like to shut her down, just getting her in the clinch, getting her up against the cage, trying to drag her down, trying to put her where no one's really taking advantage of her yet. Aldana did have pretty good ground game in some of her fights, so she'd have to be careful, but Holmes been doing this a bit longer than Aldana, so I feel like if she uses her veteran skills against her in that way, just exploit the grappling department, then that'd be a good way for her to get the win. But I'm kind of rooting for Aldana. Like, I want to see her fight the champ. I think it would be nice to have a fresh face fighting for the title. And Aldana has power. She has that cool boxing style that I love. You know, I always try to go in there and just throw hands as much as possible. And yeah, Aldana has those hands. She's had them for a while, and I think she finally found the mark. She finally found that knockout button against a girl who's never been stopped before, which is even more impressive. So I'm happy for her. I love her origin story. I love the fact that she started as an artist and then started moving towards martial arts. It's like we have like the same like story. It came up in the same like year too. So part of me is rooting for her, but also, you know, Home is a veteran. She's really great at what she does. So I'm just interested to see how it happens.
Yeah, no doubt. What's another, whether it be a fighter or, you know, whether it be because something you've seen on tape that you can't wait to watch, you think it's going to be exciting, or maybe a story or an interview that you've had to sit down to? What are some, a name or a fighter, anybody else's card that people need to pay attention to that maybe they don't, you know, aren't right now?
Well, I'm trying to think. The Colt main actually threw me for a loop. I wasn't too familiar with those guys. But DaCosta, Yoran DaCosta, is that how you pronounce
Jordan
it?
De Castro?
Yeah, De Castro.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I just found out about him today. But I've been doing my research, and he's a beast, man. He's looked really good in his first like half a round with Greg Hardy, and all his fights before that, he just nails people with leg kicks, fast leg kicks. He has fast body kicks, and like for a guy his size, you usually don't see that explosiveness. So I'm actually really excited for that co-main. At first I was like, why aren't the girls the co-main? But I'm actually excited for that, and the guy that he's fighting just presents his leg, you know, even worse than Costa presented his leg to Adesanya. He presents his leg out to be kicked. So I'm wondering if he's gonna just snatch it up and take it and try to get another leg kick KO. But obviously I'm looking forward to the strawweight matchup. My last win was against Loma Lookbunmi, but I always kind of felt conflicted about fighting her because she has that pure Muay Thai style, and I always loved that about her. I remember watching her first fight in Invicta, and she just hit like maybe 50 Muay Thai sweeps on this girl who was charging forward, and it was so perfect, and you could tell she'd just done it a million times, and it was just really effortless. And I watched that fight, and I was like, I'm gonna start doing Muay Thai sweeps again. And then I had my fight with Hannah Cyphers and swept her and elbowed her. So thanks, Loma. Thanks for the inspiration. And Jingy Fry, she's another person who was coming up when I was in Invicta, and just to see them both get to this level is really cool. And yeah, I'm hoping for a great fight.
Last thing for me, I got to ask about your fighting career. I mean, it's been 2.5 weeks, so you know these lengthy layoffs. We don't usually see you out that line out, right? What is the plan? I mean, I know how frustrated emotionally you were at that. Now you had a little chance to let it soak in. I mean, where do you stand right now? What is the next move for you?
It still sucks. I still felt like it. I don't know. I still felt like it should have gone my way. I still felt like I did everything in the 5th round that should have said, okay, it's a close round, but this person gets the nod. And it is frustrating, but it's made me focus on what I can do to get closer to a finish. And that's what I said the last fight as well, but I feel like with the 2 in a row, it's a necessity. There's no way around it. I have to get the finish in my next fight, and that's kind of where my mindset is. And I feel confident that I can. I just have to put some more pieces together. I have to start working on taking it to the ground more, because strawweights don't usually get knockouts. So just being able to do that, I know my ground and pound is good. I know my top control is really good. It's just a matter of making the decision to take the fight there. So I feel more of a sense of urgency in the same way Michelle did when I knocked her around for 2 rounds. She felt that sense of urgency to take me down. And I know if I went for 18 takedowns, I'd get more than one. So I definitely feel like I should start just adding that into my game plan. It's going to open up my striking. It's going to open up the opportunity to finish on the ground as well. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
You posted today you have fight news coming soon. Anything you can share?
I don't think so, but
You got what you wanted?
I got a good one. I got a good one, and it's not gonna be here, but it's a good one. So
Awesome.
stay tuned.
Last one for me. So you said that you would like to see Irene fighting the champ. Do you think she would get a title shot if she wins, or the winner from Jermaine versus Pena?
Well, Jermaine just fought the champ, so I don't think if Jermaine wins, it would be her. And Pena, she hasn't fought that often, so I still feel like people would want to see her fight at least one more time, unless it's a super dominant win. But I definitely feel like Irene earned it more after her last fight against Ketlin. Like, I think Ketlin was going to be the next in line, and you could argue that Irene should be fighting for the title after beating someone who was so dominant beforehand. So I think the winner of this fight should definitely be one of them who gets the next title shot.
What did you make of Izzy's celebration at the end with the dry humping and running over Captain Eric and all that stuff?
That was funny. I mean, why be mad about that? You know, he didn't. The dry humping, there wasn't any penetration. He didn't actually smack him with anything. It was miming. He was doing aggressive miming. But he was excited, and I think this fight really got to him mentally. I think he had to dig deep into his zen state of mind and watch a lot of Naruto to really channel that inner ninja in him and beat up the bully. And then afterwards he celebrated beating up the bully. I mean, I thought it was funny. I didn't think it was disrespectful, well, obviously it was disrespectful, but I didn't think it was out of line considering the build up and everything. But yeah, I probably wouldn't have done it. Actually, I probably would have. Bitch fucking season, that's what it's all about. So hey, what are you gonna do?
Do you think there's a little bit of a double standard of people that are up in arms about that? Where Izzy says, if you look at what Colby said and you look at what he's doing, do you think there's a double standard of people getting all up in arms at what he does?
Oh yeah. And I feel like there's always going to be that group of people who are mad at one group of people but not mad at another. And I don't have to be explicit about what that is, but I think people just need to lighten up. If you're not mad about the Colby thing, you shouldn't be mad at this. If you are mad about the Colby thing, maybe you can be mad at this. But for me, I was like, Colby thing was stupid. This was funny. So, I don't know. I guess I'm just a hypocrite. I don't know what to say about it. I have a different sense of humor,
Sure.
The Colby thing didn't make me laugh. And that one did. And I don't know how to explain it other than dry humping doesn't offend a group of people. So,
Sure.
yeah.
And then one final one, what did you make of John Jones tweeted he wants to go to the next anime convention and slap the first 10 people he sees?
Well, that's not gonna be for a while, John. But that's pretty rude. It would be really funny if, in order to get in, he had to dress up. Yeah, that's funny. I don't know. He's just trying to get a fight, and I don't think anyone feels threatened by that. I don't know. How was it received?
Got 4,000 retweets.
Okay, so people like that.
30,000 likes.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, John's trying to be the bully. He's trying to get Adesanya to take the bait.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it's smart of him. But, you know, do that, you might get dry humped.
Cool.
Cool.
Well, that's
All
good.
right.
Hey,